Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today might be the most special video that I've ever recorded and that is introducing my shade. My shade with Pretties for Your Face, and it is called Glacier. Pretties for Your Face asked me to collab with them to create my own custom shade, and here we are with Glacier. Glacier is a new formula to Pretties for Your Face. Meg is the owner of Pretties for Your Face. When she asked me to create a custom shade, you know exactly, I wanted my shifts, I wanted smoothness, I wanted dimension in my eyeshadow, and I quickly grabbed on the opportunity. And if you guys know me, you know that I'm a purple lover, so it had to be purple. So if that all sounds interesting to you, then please keep on watching. Let's talk a little bit about the shadow. Now this is a new formula that Pretties for Your Face is gonna launch in their collection. And this is the first shade that they're launching, and this is called Glacier. I will go over the name, but look at this beauty. I mean, now what? I cannot be more excited, guys. I can be all over the place in this video, but bear with me. Now, this is a purple. You know, I love my purples. When you see it in person, it looks like that. It has a strong pink shift, as you can see. It goes to an orange. So it's like a purple to a pink to an orange, but it strongly has a green and a blue too. Can you see that? And I'll show you in the outside lighting too, just so that you can see all the shifts dimension. Now this looks new because it is new. You would see Pretties for Your Face on the back with the name Glacier. Now this Mega Chrome, because it's not 2 or 3 shifts, and when I say it shifts crazily, I truly mean it. I feel like you can see almost the entire spectrum of the rainbow inside this shade. It's very, very special, but I wanted it to lean a little more on the purple side just because if it's not purple, it won't be me. And my first shade, I wanted to be purple, and that's why Glacier. I wanted shifts, I wanted dimension, I wanted it to be a very user-friendly shade for a neutral lover as well as a colorful lover. And I feel like I totally encaptured what I wanted in that shade. So let's go over the details. This multichrome shade, or I would say Mega Chrome, Pretties for Your Face is going to term this as a Mega Chrome shade, and it is going to retail for $18. And this particular shade, my shade Glacier, is going to launch on October 22nd. It just takes me to so many different directions, but let me tell you what are the shifts that are inside this shade. This is a predominantly purple shade that shifts to a pink, to an orange, to a green, and to a blue. That's how it shifts under different lighting. I would show you all the swatches also right now on the screen, just so that you know when you're seeing it in the outside lighting, it shifts to totally different shades. When you're inside with natural lighting or with dim lighting, this is absolutely spectacular. I'm also going to do 3 looks using this shade today in this video, so stay tuned for that. Of course, this is the first look. I wanted to go a little more on the neutral side for all my neutral lovers, and to pair this with neutral tones. I feel like this is absolutely wearable but so spectacular at the same time. Let's go over the name. Why Glacier? Whenever I see this shade, because of the shifts from a purple to a pink to a blue, it totally reminds me of ice and snow and water, the elements of the nature. I wanted it to launch on October 22nd only because I lost my dad that day, and actually on 23rd, but 22nd night is when we were all in that zone. I wanted something related on that day that would give me pride and to celebrate him. That's why October 22nd came into play. Why Glacier is only because whenever I feel a life is lost, I basically relate to them in elements of nature. And I feel I relate to my dad whenever I see water and ice, and it just reminds me of that. And that's why Glacier. I really felt this shade with the shifts, the name completely justifies it, and that's the main reason. He was our rock of the family. I'm trying to fit into his shoes. I lost him way before, but that lost is still there. The void cannot be filled, but we are all holding each other's hand in the family and we're moving right along. I'm pretty sure he's watching us from up above and blessing us all. Okay, so let the sad story be on the side, but we are here to celebrate him. And that's why Glacier has come to play, and I cannot be more excited with this baby. Now let me show you the swatch by itself. This is how Glacier looks. Like in this, I'm pretty sure I showed you the swatches by itself, but this is Glacier by itself. And this is Glacier on different shades, like mainly jewel tones, I would say, and even neutral like brown. And you can see like the way it shifts, it just shifts to so many different colors. It's truly very, very beautiful, and you can truly pair it with any matte and it will look spectacular. Like I definitely wanted that aspect to pair it with any matte, and it should portray like a different shade. And yeah, with one shade, you can definitely go to places, and I absolutely love it. Now, the Mega Chrome shades from Pretties for Your Face is going to retail at $18, which I feel like is pretty affordable in the multi-chrome industry. And this, as I said, this shifts to so many different shades that's totally, totally worth it, I would say. I won't say like to go ahead and buy it or not. I'm so grateful for you guys to like even watch me. I am not earning anything out of this shade. I basically wanted like my passion to come through, and that is why I formulated this shade. That is it. There is not one penny that I'm earning out of this shade. So yeah, but I would love for you to like experience this shade, and I would love to have the opportunity with the other brands too. I absolutely love the opportunity of working with a brand and especially like creating a multi-chrome shade. It was an absolute dream to work with Meg, and with Pretties for Your Face, she completely gave me the liberty of like choosing the shade, mixing and matching. I went back and forth with her like so many different times, and I have so many like versions of this shade that I can show you, because yeah, I've totally hit pan on like one of the shades, but these were like all the different versions, and we landed onto this shade, the topmost shade. I'm also going to show you like my top 5 shades from Pretties for Your Face, just because the day when this is launching, they still have a sale going on their website, and I would love for you to snag up a few more shades which are totally, totally worth the money. So let's move on to that first. Of course, this is my shade Glacier, which I mean, you need it. You absolutely need it. Look at that. Look at that. Guys, okay. I need to calm down first. But this is the first shade that I would recommend for sure. The second shade that I would recommend to you guys is definitely Brocade. If you ask me, out of all the greens that I have in my collection, if I have to recommend one green shade, it's going to be Brocade. It's really, really pretty, really, really sparkly. It's not a duochrome or a multichrome by any means, but this is so spectacular and so dimensional. It feels like full in the pan, but it's crazy how much I've used this. But this, oh my God, look at the sparkle. Look at the sparkle and the shine. And that is Brocade. Look at that. Oh my word. Crazy it is. The next multichrome that I would recommend to you guys is called Nitro from Pretties for Your Face. Obviously, this is all Pretties for Your Face. But this is like a strong, like a royal blue to a purple shifting shade. Really, really pretty. So let's watch that. Like, look at that. I hope you can see that blue and purple shift. So that's Nitro. Very, very pretty shade. And super, super dimensional too. Can you see that? The next shade that I would recommend is Electrified. I know there are so many purples, but this looks a lot more like cool toned gray that shifts to like a pink, but in the camera it totally looks purple. I know. There's one more purple. So brace yourself. There you go. Looks very, very similar to my shade. But my shade like really shifts to a lot more. I don't know how to like tell you guys. But this is like a subtle version of like 2 shades of the version of my shade, I would say. Why am I wearing a bangle? I have to swatch these shades. I don't know. Let me take that off first. Okay, the next shade that I wanted to recommend to you guys is called Jolt. Now this is also a very neutral shade, I would say, but very sparkly, very dimensional. It's more like a rose gold shade. That's how I would like classify this. This is not like a duochrome or anything, but very, very sparkly shade. Almost like the same texture of this brocade shade. Look at the dimension. That. And that's Jolt. Very pretty, very neutral, but very dimensional. And last, certainly not the least, we have Solstice, which is another purple shade, but this is more like a blue leaning purple, I would say. Let's watch that. Very pretty. I really love this shade too. I love purples. Are you guys amazed? I don't think so. And that is Solstice. So those would be like 5 other shades apart from my shade that I would recommend to you guys. We have Glacier, Brocade, Nitro, Electrified, Jolt, and Solstice. And those would be like my top recommendations out of the sales, I would say. Now let me quickly give you like a comparison of the other multichromes that I have in my collection, which you might think that would be close to it, but let me show you a comparison. Can you see that shift? And that's my shade. I wanted to swatch it on the palm of the hands just so that you can see like the different light hitting it with like the lines. And I felt like when I initially saw this like in the picture when she showed me when she was formulating it, I felt like it's very, very close to the Hummingbird Multichrome from the Odin's Eye palette. This one, the fancy shade. So I want to swatch this against it. Again, a very, very beautiful shade, I would say. Again, this is the one that shifts to like a pink to a purple to a green. So let me swatch that right against it. Right off the back, I would say Odin's Eye one is a lot like smoother. I mean, mine is very, very smooth. Glacier is very, very smooth, but it shows like, how would I say? It reflects differently with a little more texture, but it definitely is like very, very smooth, I would say. Like, look at that. But Hummingbird seems a lot more like pink and gold with like a hint of purple, I would say. More pink and green, I would say. So that's Hummingbird shade. And also from the same Legendary Diverser collection, they also did the Giant Wolves palette, and the shade that was Eternal seems also very similar. So let me swatch that too. Again, other multichrome which I'm very, very big fan of. So that is Eternal. Can you see that? It's more like gray based, but it shifts to like blue-green. I felt like those would be like very similar, but mine is definitely more purple out of the lot, as you can see. I hope these swatches are helpful for you guys. Now let's move on to the 3 looks that I created with this palette. Let's begin with our first look. I cannot even tell you how excited I am, so bear with me. The first one that I'm going to create is more of a neutral look. So let's do that. I'm going to use my Huda Beauty's Mercury Retrograde palette. I'm going to dip into this shade, which is Karma. I'm going to put that on my crease. I just wanted to show you like even with like neutral looks, how you can amp up your looks with only like one Mega Chrome shade. So this is Karma. I'm also going to take the same shade on my lower lash line. I'm going to take this shade, which is Hot Mess. I'm mainly going to focus this on the outer corners. And I'm also going to take this same shade on my lower lash line. Just to deepen up the outer corners a tad bit more, I'm going to dip into this shade. And this is called Vortex, like a plummy black shade. And just press that on the outer corners. Okay, now I do not have any primer on my lid by any means. I'm going to take my multichrome, and that's Glacier right here. Look at this beauty. Am I biased? Yes, maybe. But I mean, Can you deny this beauty? It's just truly amazing. Oh my God. Okay, let's put this baby on our eyes. I'm gonna take that on my fingers. Oh my God, this is so smooth. Okay, here we go. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Oh God. And these are like very, very creamy shadows. So you definitely don't need a lot. Like just pat it onto your eyes or swipe it onto your eyes and you're good to go. Oh my God. Now I'm just going to take a brush and just finesse it out. You can definitely manipulate anything with like a brush or a finger. Just for my inner corners, I want just the same shade. And then just pat it across the edge. Just for a smoother blend. I'm just going to take my other brush with no product and just blend out the edges. Just like that. I'm going to finish this off with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. And that's my final look. I went all out with my lashes. I really hope that you enjoyed this first look. Now let's move on to the second look. Let's move on to the next two eye looks. I'm going to use my Sugar Drizzle All Mattes palette. I feel like this would be really pretty. I'm going to start off with this shade, which is Jaded. It's a really pretty teal shade. I'm basically packing it on the outer corners. And I'm also going to take this on my lower lash line. I'm just wiping off the excess. Now I'm going to take this shade, which is Turquoise Sea. I'm going to put that right here, meeting that teal shade. Again, tapping it and then blending it. Now, you guessed it right, we're going to go to this shade, which is Sea Glass. It's the same brush that I'm using. I'm just wiping it off between after every shade and tapping off the excess and then patting it. And that would like give us a gradient of minty green to a sea foamy green to a green blue teal shade. Look at that blend. That's so, this palette is really good. This outside my comfort zone, but we'll go with the flow. Let's move on to a multichrome. I'm going to take it with my finger and just press it. Oh my God, look at that. And I would say take a little bit at a time because this would spread out really, really well. Just like that. And I'm now going to switch to a brush just so that I get a little more precision. And then start spreading it out because I want like a scattered look, not like a cut crease look. Just like that. I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. And that's my second eye look. So outside my comfort zone, I cannot even. Now let's move on to the third eye look. I'm going to first dip into this shade, which is called Plum Pose, and do the same thing that we did on the other eye, but with like purples. We're going to pack this on the outer corners. I'm going to take the same shade on my lower lash line. I'm going to dip into Wisty, this purple shade, and focus that on the center of my eyelid. And then I'm going to take this shade, which is Lilac Attack, and apply that on the inner corners. I'm basically tapping over everything just so that there's a seamless blend. Just like that. And for blending the edges, actually, let's take Lilac Attack on my lower lash line too. I'm going to take this shade, which is Icing, and I'm just going to blend over the edges with that shade, just so that there's no harsh lines and everything is like smoothly blended. Just like that. Now let's move on to our multichrome. I'm going to tap that on top of the purple. Oh my goodness. I'm going to tap that on top of my eyelid. And look how dimensional it is. Oh my god, this is what dreams are made of. I can totally see a green, a pink, a purple. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to take the same shade. Actually, whatever is left over from my lid on my inner corners too. Nobody wants to waste a multichrome. And just tap over the edges. And I'm going to take the same blending brush that we used on our lid and just blend out the outer corners, just so that there's no harsh lines. I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. And that's my third eye look. Sound it off in the comment section below. Out of the 3 looks, which one was your favorite? And are you excited about this shade or not? If you wanted to create a shade, what shade or what color it is going to be. But yes, that's all for today, guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did like it, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 to 4 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.